Om Shri Ganeshaya Namaha. Om Shri Saraswatye Namaha. Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Shruti Smriti Purananam Alayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavat Pada Shankaram Loka Shankaram Samasta Jana Kalyane Niratam Karunamayam Namami Chinmayam Devam Sadgurum Brahma Vidvaram Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangum Langhayate Girim Yatkripatamaham Vande Paramanandamadhavam Paramanandamadhavam. You can read from verse 51.
Bahya nitya sukhasaktim hitvatma sukha nirvritaha ghatastha deepavat swasthaha svantareva prakashate upadhisthopi tadharmaihi alipto vyomavan munihi sarvavinmudhavattishthet asakto vayuvaccharet upadhi vilayad vishnau nirvishesham vishen munihi jale jalam viyad vyomni tejas tejasi vayatha yallabhana paro labhaha yat sukhana param sukham yajnana param jnanam tad brahmetyavadharayet yad drishtva na param drishyam yad bhutva na punarbhavah yad jnatva na param neyam tad brahmetyavadharayet tiryagurdhvamadhav purnam Satchidanandamadvayam anantam nityamekam yat tad brahmetyavadharayet atadvyavrittirupena vedantairlaksyate dvayam akhand-aanandamekam yat tad brahmetyavadharayet.
That's not done.
Lav-aashritaah brahmaadyaah taaratamyena bhavanti aanandinah akhilaah.
If you went like this, then they will stop. Techniques you have to learn in time. In verse number 51, of course, we discussed in our discussion, group discussion, and that clarification, but I have not shared this with the online group have not heard that. We discussed, of course, ghatastha deepavat swastaha svantareva prakashate. There, the important concepts we noted are, first is swastaha, svantareva prakashate. These 2 points are there. The example makes it more clear. What does the example say? A lamp placed in a pot. Remember, it's not a lamp covered by a pot. When you cover a lamp with the pot, the lamp goes away because of oxygen depletion. But it is actually a lamp placed in a pot. So when a lamp is placed in the pot, first that power of its effulgence is known only to it. Swastaha. Swasmins tishtati iti swastaha. It remains in itself. That light is within itself. So that is the meaning. Only that Sachidananda Swarupa which the Jnani is aware of its Sachidananda Swarupa in its true, full, complete glory. So the Ananda of the self, which I am, that self, Ananda is I am, that alone is aware of that Ananda. That is first point. Second point, what happens? That lamp which is placed in the pot, its effulgence is slightly, to an extent, it's also there on the walls of the pot. And that which is there on the walls of the pot is not seen to anybody. Nobody outside can see that. Because it is in the pot. The same way, that Ananda of that Sachidananda, who is that Jnani, who is that knower of Brahman, that Brahmavit, that Mahatma, that Jivan Mukta, that Ananda gets splashed around in the mind and intellect of the Mahatma. And that Ananda cannot be understood what it is by anyone outside. Anyone. Nobody. Nobody can understand. And that is the Vilakshana Ananda of a Jivan Mukta. The unique bliss of a Jivan Mukta. This is the second point from the example. Third point, what is happening? Yes, no one can see the full radiance of that lamp. No one can see also the light splashed around on the walls of the pot. But even from distance, you can see a slight shimmer above the lamp, a little. And that is what we who are around that Mahatma can experience. That Mahatma is so joyous. Not just joyous, infectiously joyous. You go to that Mahatma, then your dukkha goes away. So yeah, in the presence of Mahatma, you feel so much peace. All the agitations just quietens. And suddenly you feel that, you feel suddenly you have a greater purpose for living. You feel a transformation. That is a slight shimmer and the glimmer what you can find from far away around on the pot. So this way, gatastha deepavat swastaha swantareva prakashate. So it's a very, very deep verse. The example, very communicative. From verse number, we had verse number 53, we had the explanation of Videha Mukti. What is Videha Mukti? A Jivan Mukta, when the prarabdha of the upadhis are over, merges with the ultimate. Now this is from our standpoint. He is already the ultimate. What is merging with the ultimate? From our standpoint. Because we see the walls of the room and then we think that we experience a pot space. When the wall ceases, as the example given here, Jale jalam viyad vyomni tejas tejasi vayata. Like the bubble merging in the ocean of water, or the wave merging in the ocean of water. Viyad vyomni, like how the pot space merges with the total space. Even when the wave was there in the water, it is water only. You are calling it wave, it is water only. You are calling it as bubble, you are calling it as foam, you are calling it as breaker, you are calling this and that. But breaker means large wave, okay? So you are calling this, that is your perception from the perception of H2O. H2O doesn't say it is wave, bubble and all. It says it's me only. You are dividing one ocean into various things. So there is one standpoint of the perceiver, there is another standpoint of the jnani. This Jivan Mukti, Videha Mukti are all perceptions from outside, not the actual fact experienced of the jnani. And jnani will not say, I am a Jivan Mukta. You will say he is a Jivan Mukta. You will say Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, Ramana Maharshi, or Mahatmas, many Mahatmas, I just cannot keep on telling everybody's names. Mirabai. They are all Jivan Muktas, okay? They have become Jivan Muktas through the path of Marga of Bhakti, that's all. Many Jivan Muktas. Not only in this land, where this wisdom can go, there Jivan Mukti can come. Where this knowledge is present, Jivan Mukti can be there. Well, that's not our discussion now on that point. So, jale jalam viyat vyomni tejas tejasivayata, or a spark of fire merging into the blazing fire. You are calling it a spark because it's your perception, but it is fire only. That way. And then from verse number 54, that's where we are now, we have a presentation of that supreme reality, ending with the refrain, not all of them, but most of them, ending with the refrain, tad brahmet ava-dhaarayet. This is Shankaracharya, after completing the essential message of the essential text and the thought flow of the Atmabodha, gives us verses so that we can revel. These are not verses for discoursing upon actually, these are verses for reveling. Take those verses, fill your heart and revel. Yallaban no naparo labaha, yet sukhan naparam sukham. So this gain of the jnani cannot be quantified. It is why? Because it is infinite. Yallabat naparo labaha. Than this gain, there is no higher gain. It's because it's infinite. Yet sukhat naparam sukham. Than this joy, there is no higher joy. Why? Because it's infinite. Yet jnanat naparam jnanam. Because it is not an objective knowledge of something. I know something, then I call it as knowledge. But it is not, I know something here. It is knowledge per se. It is consciousness per se. Per se means it is consciousness alone. It is not knowing something, which is finite knowledge. It is knowledge itself. It is consciousness itself. Tad brahma ava-dhaarayet. Yad drishtva naparam drishyam. Having seen which there is nothing further to see. Why there is nothing further to see? Having seen Brahman, everything is Brahman. Yad bhutva na punarbhavaha. Having become which? Having become which? Being that Brahman, there is no punarbhavaha, there is no rebirth. Yajñātvā na aparam nyayam. And having known which, there is nothing further to be known, because that thing, what you think is something other, is also that final truth alone. Tad brahma ava-dhaarayet. Tirya gurudva madah purvam chid-anvitah advayam anantam nityamekam yatru tad brahma ava-dhaarayet. Tirya gurudva, tirya, everywhere. Urdhva, up, down, here, there, everywhere. Chid-anvitah advayam. Nityam, anantam. These words are known. Tad brahma ava-dhaarayet. Then, atad-vyavritti rupena. How does this Upanishad? Atad-vyavritti rupena. Vyavritti means negation. Atad-vyavritti means negating what it is not. Negating what it is not, negating the upadhis, negating the nama-rupa. Vedantaihi lakshate advayam akhandam aanandam ekam. Vedanta can only point out to you. Vedanta cannot put the finger there. It can only point. Like a distant moon, you can point with your finger and show to the person, hey, look at the moon. Neither you are moon, nor the hand that points, not the finger that shows. None of them are the moon. In the same way, the Guru who is explaining to you, and the Shastra, which is the finger, and finally the Vakyas, which says Tattvamasi, Aham Atma Brahma, I am Atma Brahma. These are all only part of the process to show you there. Don't get stuck up with any one of them. Don't get stuck up. Devotion to the Guru, yes. Shraddha in the Shastra and deep commitment to the Upanishad. All these things are fine. But finally you have to go beyond all of them. Why? Because none of them are that moon. Finally, what is that? Advayam, Akhandam, Anandam, Ekam. These words are known, I am not translating. Right? Tad Brahma ava-dhaarayet. Then pointing to the supreme bliss, which is not explicable, which cannot be described. Right? So you have the next verses. Next verse is there. So we'll read 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, up to 61. Let us read together.
Akhand-aananda roopasya tasya lav-aashritaah brahmaadyaah taaratamyena bhavanti aanandinah
Akhilaah.
Tadyuktam akhilam vastu vyavahaarah chid-anvitah tasmaat sarvagatam brahma ksheere sarpih akhile ananvasthulamahrisvam adirgham-ajam-avyayam aroopa-guna-varna-aakhyam tad-brahmetyavadharayet yad-bhasa bhasyater-kadi bhasyair-yattu na bhasyate yena sarvamidam bhati tad-brahmetyavadharayet. Akhand-aananda roopasya tasya lav-aashritaah brahmaadyaah taaratamyena bhavanti aanandinah akhilaah Tadyuktam akhilam vastu vyavahaarah chid-anvitah tasmaat sarvagatam brahma ksheere sarpih akhile ananvasthulamahrisvam adirgham-ajam-avyayam aroopa-guna-varna-aakhyam tad-brahmetyavadharayet yad-bhasa bhasyater-kadi bhasyair-yattu na bhasyate yena sarvamidam bhati tad-brahmetyavadharayet.
Brahmaadyaah taaratamyena bhavanti aanandinah akhilaah. This is 58, right? Brahmaadyaah. Am I wrong on the number? 58, right? Brahmaadyaah. Brahmaadyaah, starting from Brahma. Starting from Brahma means what? We are not talking of Brahman. Starting from Brahma, when we say, Brahma refers to the Creator. The supreme reality, Brahman, which is the final upadana karana, the cause for the entire world, which is the vivartopadana, which is that karana which appears as the world, Right? So that the Puranas explain of creation, and when they explain of creation, they posit Brahma as a creator. Then, see, that is Brahma, who creates. Now the created world also, that's governed by cosmic forces represented by deities, Indra, Vayu, Varuna, and so on and so forth. And then they all have their own lokas. So Brahma said to be in Brahma Loka. So you have a Brahmanda. A Brahmanda is made up of 14 lokas. Atala, Vitala, Sutala. Did I mention it any time? Atala, Vitala, Sutala, Rasatala, Talatala, Mahatala, Patala, Bhuhu. This is Bhu. This world is Bhu. Bhuhu, Bhuvaha. Bhuvaha is the world of Pitris. Bhuhu, Bhuvaha, Suvaha. Suvaha is the world of the Devatas. Mahaha, Janaha, Tapaha, Satyam. That Satyam is Brahma Loka. Okay? So this is called as one cosmos. Like that, there are infinite cosmoses. That is how the Puranas present it. Now, these infinite cosmoses, whatever is there, this is all what? These are Buddha, Niva, Varini. So each Brahmanda is supposed to be one bubble. In that Brahman, chid-anvitah Swarupa. Okay? Now these creatures means these jivas, starting from the highest, most powerful, most capable, highly knowledgeable Brahma, and the various deities which all govern the cosmic forces, air, water, earth, forest, sun, moon, cosmic forces. Now these deities which govern them, now they are very, very powerful. Then you come to other beings also. Gandharva are there. They are the heavenly musicians. Then Pitrus are there. They are people who have given up this body and live in a different loka, etc., etc. So many beings they speak of. All these creatures, not just these beings, all the animals and birds, they also have happiness to some way or the other. Human beings also have happiness. In human beings also there is different varieties of happiness, and different varieties of happiness some different people can have. Some people do not have that happiness. This person does not have that happiness, etc., different. And then there are also people who have got happiness as the way of life. And there are those people, for them, they have subtle happiness, which others can't even experience, because they are so finely tuned. Now this person is listening to music. Listening. I can't sing, okay? Something. Then this person, ayo, you look at the book, kya hua? This person ear is so tuned to that raga, that alapa, this, that, they get some joy. You can't understand. Another person goes and looks you feel there's some mess of colors there happening. And this person goes and stands there, lost for hours. And you think I can also do that. You take your brush and you do it. No, it doesn't come like that. Art, different varieties of art. Ooh. There's an art which is very Rembrandt, very, very different art. Then you have Picasso. When you look at Picasso, you wonder, what is this mess? Why not? It's not mess. Oh. Then you have an art which is a ship in the ocean, surrounded with waves. What? Now these are people who are finely tuned to experience subtle pleasures which you and I may not experience. Subtle. Among human beings itself, there are fellows who can only understand the pleasure of rasgulla. That's all they will understand. There are people who can make that rasgulla and give for so many people and enjoy, everybody enjoy. Very, very different kinds of pleasure. That's not the point here. What is said is that all the pleasures and the happiness which all beings all over the world, not only this world, starting from the highest world, Brahma, up to whatever, beings in whatever world, wherever they are, these are all what? This is all Akhand-aanandasya ananda lav-aashritaah. All these people become aanandinah, akhilaah, aanandinah. They all become happy. And in that, let us say, in that happiness, how much is expended from that infinite happiness? It is said, Akhand-aanandasya. Akhanda means unbroken, infinite ananda. From that ananda, lava. Lava means what? A wee bit. A wee bit means what? It is the minute, minuscule particle of that ananda. You take one drop and then cut it into a million particles, and the million particle you take that bit, and that bit also you cut, and then whatever is there, only that much all these creatures in all the worlds are enjoying. That infinite ananda is this Atma Swarupa. What we are experiencing through Priya, Moda, Pramoda are distant echoes of that ananda. A faint rays. A star has exploded somewhere, a supernova has happened. And then here on the earth, we observe. We observe what? A faint noise, a faint light, a faint X-ray. That's all. Supernovas are high speed. Once they explode, you have a high speed discharge of particles. But traveling through the distance of light years, when they reach here, you can't even see with your eyes. It's observed through some instruments. Like that, the ananda that we receive in our mind is like that. Don't get cheated by this. Go to the source. That is the self. That's why it's called brahmaananda, infinite bliss. Akhand-aananda, infinite bliss. Purnananda, infinite bliss. Advayananda, ananda which is not comparable to anything. One ananda. That is where we need to go. Don't get lost in Priya, Moda, Pramoda and get cheated. No. Don't. When you experience that ananda, you should tell yourself, hey, this is only a wee bit. The highest thing is waiting there. Am I going to get lost here, or am I going to find the truth? Go deeper. There is a joy you get by refining the mind intellect. There is an absolute bliss you get transcending the mind and intellect. Akhand-aananda roopasya tasya lav-aashritaah brahmaadyaah taaratamyena bhavanti aanandino akhilaah. You have the Taittiriya Upanishad where this point is discussed in great detail. It's called Ananda Mimamsa, an inquiry into happiness. Taittiriya Upanishad. Very beautiful lines. Yuvat syat sadhu ava-dhaarayet ashishto dridishto balishtaha tasyayam prithvi sarva vittasya purnastyat sayeko manusha anandaha. This is one manusha ananda. Explanation is there. There is a person who is very, very healthy and who is a person of great dharma, and at the same time he is a person who is endowed with all prosperity. Let us say and he is young also in his age, and such a person, now let us say the best possible human being in every way, body, mind and spirit, everything. His happiness is one, let us say from that. Te shatam manusha aanandah. Multiply that with 100. Sayeko manushya gandharvanam aanandah. Multiply by 100, you get the ananda of manushya gandharva, the other nature of beings. Then afterwards, then that person, that Ananda is also there with that Shrotriya Brahmanishta. Like that it keeps on, then Manushya Gandharva, then Deva Gandharva, then Pitru, then afterwards Ajana Jana Deva, then afterwards Karma Deva, afterwards Deva, afterwards Indra, afterwards Brihaspati, afterwards Prajapati, afterwards Brahma. Like that keeps on 100, 100, 100, 100, 100, 100, multiply. And finally it will say, even that is only one wee bit of the Ananda which is experienced by that Brahmagyani. In Ananda Mimamsa. Later on you can study. Tadyuktam akhilam vastu. I should not explain, huh? These are not verses for explanation. Tadyuktam akhilam vastu. Vyavahaarah chid-anvitah. Tasmaat sarvagatam brahma. Ksheere sarpih akhile. Everything is imbued with that. Everything has got that presence of consciousness. Tadyuktam akhilam vastu, all objects, all beings, is Satchidananda, is there. Vyavahaarah chid-anvitah, all activities of yours taken up with the body, senses and mind, small or big, good or bad, has got in the background that consciousness enabling it. Therefore, tasmaat sarvagatam brahma. Brahma is all-pervasive. Brahma is all-pervasive because, why? All objects are imbued with that Brahman is present, all objects. That is one. And all activities are also there. There is no activity possible without the presence of that consciousness. There is no object possible without that consciousness. Since all objects are pervaded by consciousness, since all actions are kissed by that consciousness, backed by that consciousness, tasmaat sarvagatam brahma. Brahma is all pervasive. But I can see that, hey, ksheere sarpih akhile. Just as how there is that what you call butter or ghee, sarpih. Ksheere sarpih. Ksheera means milk. Like how that is there. Actually, that is what makes it nourishing, rich and full, complete. You take it off, it loses its nature, its presence, everything is lost. That is there. It is there. And how is this? Tad brahmet ava-dhaarayet. Ananu astulam ahrasvam adirgam. It is not small. It is not big. It is not short, hrasva. It is not tall. Nothing. Ajam, unborn. Avyayam, has no changes, has no decay. Aroopa-guna-varna-aakhyam, which has no form, which has no property, and which has no name. Swami, no name, how you are telling? So from the beginning you have been calling it as Atman, then Brahman, then Satchidananda. Now you are telling it has no name. These are names we have given. Brahman had no mother and father who gave their name for it. We can give names to understand, that's all. You ask Brahman, what's your name? No. Yadbhasa tad brahmet ava-dhaarayet. That is Brahma. Yadbhasa bhastyate arkadi. Because of whose effulgence the sun and all, everything shine. Bhasyair-yattuna bhastyate. And because, and who cannot be revealed by all these, sun, moon, etc. Yena sarvamidam bhati. Because of which all shines. That tad brahma ava-dhaarayet. Somebody, are you telling that sun shines because of Brahman? I know that sun shines because of nuclear fusion. Correct? Not nuclear fission. Nuclear fusion. Fusion, not fission. Nuclear fission, nuclear fusion gets enormous energy out. Sun shines because of nuclear fusion. That's what we are studying. And you are saying sun shines because of Brahman? Hey, kya hai Swamiji? Kya? What are you talking? Now let me tell you something interesting. Is this shining by itself, this light? How it is shining? Oh, chhod do baat. Now I am asking something more subtle that everybody knows as science. I am asking something subtle. Does this shine by itself? How? Why? You need eyes. You need eyes. You need eyes. If eyes are not there, even if it shines bright than the star, you can't see. In other words, Vedantically we say, this shines because of eyes. Vedantically. It's very different. It's a very different way of thinking. This shines only when I see. And if there are no eyes, this cannot shine. Okay? Next point. Do eyes shine by themselves? Let us say eyes are there, but my mind is somewhere. Will I see you? No. Eyes shine because of mind. Very different thinking. Does mind shine by itself? No. Unless there is reflected consciousness, mind cannot function. And unless there is pure consciousness, there is no reflected consciousness. Therefore, the sun shines because of this consciousness finally. Na tatra suryo bhati na chandra tarakam nema vidyuto bhanti kutoyam agnihi tameva bhantam. When that consciousness shines, the sun shines. When that consciousness shines, the moon shines. When that consciousness shines, the stars shine. When that consciousness shines, lightning shines. When that consciousness shines, the fire shines. Tameva bhantam anubhati sarvam. Tasya bhasa sarvamidam vibhati. By that consciousness, everything shines. Therefore, sun shines. Yes, sun may be functioning because of fusion. And the day the fuel, hydrogen, helium, all of them end there, the sun is gone. Yes, the sun is functioning because of fusion, but the sun shines. The sun is experienced because of consciousness. समझ ठीक है तो ठीक है बढ़िया है नया रीति है योर थिंकिंग इट्स ओके वन मोर पॉइंट प्लीज नोट द सन कैनॉट बी देयर इफ इट इज नॉट एग्जिस्टेंट existence is Brahman. Existence is Brahman. So the sun is because of existence. The sun shines because of existence. If it is not there, how can it shine? The isness. And even when you say it shines, it is shining. That isness is Brahman. Yadbhasa bhasyate kadi. And yes, all of them are shining because of that consciousness, because of that Satchidananda, Satchitananda. Yes, nevertheless, it cannot be illumined by that sun or the moon or whatever it is. It cannot be illumined because it is not a physical object to be illumined by the rays of the sun, by light rays. It's not a physical object. A physical object can be illumined by light rays. But this is not physical. It is not even subtle. It is not even causal. It is only self-illumined. Tad Brahma iti ava-dhaarayet. Know this to be Brahman. So in these verses, starting from which verse? Starting from 54 up to 61, you have a song on Brahman. That's all. Tad Brahma iti ava-dhaarayet. Alright? Now, text was over long back, Shankaracharya, you continued, and then you had a song on Brahman. Now what are you going to? Now what he does is that, whereas the verse 60, now that the text he is going to conclude, he presents summary statements and conclusions. See how the whole philosophical exercise of expounding the Vedantic thought and all its concepts, he completed with Videha Mukti. And then he started reveling in that supreme reality up to 61. And then now, from this whole Atmabodha, what are the essential teachings you will take? What are the takeaways? What is the final concluding statements, or what you would say, summary statements and conclusion? Now you have from verse 62 to 67.
स्वयमन्तर्बहिर्व्याप्य भासयन्नखिलं जगत् ब्रह्म प्रकाशते वह्निः pra-taptaa-yasa-pinda-vat jagadvilakshanam brahma.
No, I think let's finish that verse first. Swayam. One more time, you just.
Swayamantarbhiryapya bhasayannakhilam jagat brahma prakashate vahniः pra-taptaa-yasa-pinda-vat.
Vahni pra-taptaa-yasa-pinda-vat. Example. Vahni is fire. Pratapta is what? Tapta is heated. Pratapta is what? Prakarshena tapta. Extremely heated. What? Ayasa. Ayasa, iron. Ayasa-pinda. Ayasa-pinda, iron ball. In other words, an iron ball put in fire, made hot, red hot. Okay, what is there? Now what is there? Now he says, next one. Swayam antar bahir vyapya basayan akhilam jagat brahma prakashate. Brahma prakashate, Brahma shines. Brahma shines where? Akhilam jagat, in this whole world Brahman shines. In this whole world Brahman shines. Like how? Basayan akhilam jagat, illumining this whole world, in and through the whole world. Swayam antar bahir vyapya, inside, outside, every object, inside, outside, everything is what? Is pervaded by that Brahman. Like what? Like Vahni pra-taptaa-yasa-pinda-vat, like a red hot iron ball. That fire is imbued in it fully, in and through, everywhere. Inside also, little outside also, everywhere in that iron ball. Everywhere in the iron ball, inside, the core, little outside you come, there also, the whole ball is filled with fire, in and through. And it is shining like that. Meaning, when you look at that fire, the brightness is what you see. In the same way, you see the whole world. Brahman shines. Brahman shines, Swamiji. Kya baat kar rahe ho, Swamiji? I see only people, I see only. I love this person, I hate this person. That love and hate only is so much in my mind. And now my worry is tomorrow, day after tomorrow, camp gets over, then I have to go back home and then I have to meet all these kind of fellows. What to tell them, Swamiji? Brahma prakashate. Why Brahma prakashate? That existence shines. It shines. The ignorant person's attention is on name and form. The wise person's, the jnani's attention is on the truth. A person who loves ornaments, attention is on, of course, gold, fine, but the attention is on the design. The goldsmith's attention is on the gold. We have a text in Tamil called Thirumantiram. Thirumantiram it is called. You see, this Vedanta pervades all our regional language text also. Please, you see, now if you are, let us say, you are coming, let us say, from the north, you take Kabir Das and you take Tulsi Ramayana, you look at it. Now if you are coming from Andhra, take Vemannas and then see. Meaning, you just see. You if you are coming from Gujarat, take Narsi Mehta and see. Every saint, every literature is pervaded with Advaita Vedanta. You may say, Swamiji, every literature is not pervaded Advaita Vedanta, Swamiji, it's pervaded with bhakti. But bhakti to what? To the ultimate truth? It's all pervasive, this Vedantic wisdom, in the whole tradition, in the whole culture. So I was studying Thirumantiram. It's a Tamil text written by a great saint by name Tirumular. We don't know when he wrote it, how long before it's considered to be very, 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 very old. He says one beautiful verse. Marattai maraitadu mamada yanai. Marattil maraindadu mamada yanai. Parattai maraitadu parmudal budam. Parattil maraindadu parmudal budam. Parmudal bhutam. Par is earth. Par mudal bhudam means, mudal is adi. Prithivya-adi bhuta. That is how it is. Keep that with you. Go to the example. Marattai maraitadu mamadayanai. A carpenter, not just a carpenter, he is an artist working with wood. He has created a huge elephant. Hugely. And the elephant is so tadrupa, with its tusk and then its trunk and then its ears and its forehead, looking very, very violent. This artist carpenter, he brings a small child, small fellow, and he looks at it, starts crying. And for the small fellow, marattai maraitadu mamadayanai. The wood, maram. Mamadayanai, the violent elephant has hidden the wood. But for the father, marattil maraindadu mamadayanai. In that wood, the elephant has disappeared. Parattai maraitadu parmudal bhudam. Param, the highest supreme truth, param. That is hidden by all these material elements for all of us. Like that child. In other words, name and form, objects, they hide our vision of truth. But for the jnani, Parattil maraindadu paramudal bhudam. In that supreme, the entire world is dissolved. Where your vision is, that you see. Our perception is based on our vision. If you see names and forms, that's because your vision is there. Your perception will be there. And if you see the ultimate reality, then you go beyond names and forms. You go beyond all kinds of differences which are naturally there and which are also man-made. Which are naturally there. Man, woman, is naturally there. Child, old man, naturally there. One person looks yellow, another person looks wheatish, another person looks black, another person looks white. It's naturally there. Where the world is without fear, where knowledge is free, etc., etc., where the world is not broken up into fragments by narrow domestic walls. Advaita Vedanta. Ho gaya poetry mein of the great Rabindranath Tagore. Into that heaven of freedom, Father, let my country awake. The kingdom of God is within you. Another saint from some other place. All Sant Sahitya, all literature of saints is filled with the wisdom of Vedanta. You may not see it, that's your problem. And you may have a religion which totally says heaven is somewhere else, even though that saint told the kingdom of heaven is within you. That's your mistake, not his mistake. The greatest wisdom, I'm just giving you some example. In the Old Testament, okay, the Old Testament, there is one line where God describes himself, okay? And God describes it, I am that I am. God is asked to describe. God, tell me who you are. Then God says, I am that I am. I am that. And what is that? I am. I am. This is Vedanta. But you ask that organized religion, what is this? No idea about it. In fact, to understand the core of every religion, to understand the truth of every philosophical thought of the highest nature, the only key is Advaita Vedanta. That is how it is. Why? Know thyself and know the whole world. The solution to the problems of the world lies only in Advaita Vedanta. Advaita Vedanta does not solve the problem. Advaita Vedanta puts an end to the problem so that problem can never arise once more. That's the power of Advaita. Swayam antarbahir vyapya bhasayan akhilam jagat brahma prakashate. Brahman is only shining. Oh, Swamiji, I don't see Brahman. Brahman only is there. It's your mistake. You are seeing something else. The child is seeing only the elephant. The man of wisdom also sees the elephant. It's not that he doesn't see the elephant, but for him, that it is wood overshines. It's not that the Mahatma does not see the world of objects. The Mahatma sees the world, but the truth overshines. Right. Continuing the same thought, you have a few more verses, but we'll take it up in the next session. The next session is the last session, okay? And before the session, all of you should rest 15, 20, 30 minutes and come. I am seeing that in the afternoon session, there is tiredness in the eyes. I'm not saying you're sleeping. No, you are not sleeping. You are alert. I know that. But there's no freshness sometimes. That's because you are doing photography sessions or doing whatever. I don't know what you're doing. Time is given for swadhyaya and time is given for rest also. Please note. The schedule should be followed till the last day you are here. Of course, schedule is, today the classes complete, therefore it has to be followed. You are coming, sacrificing many things. Remember that. None of you are lazy fellows. None of you are people who have escaped from the world. None of you are people who are worthless and useless. You are all some of the most brilliant youngsters of the country here. And you have taken time to be here. You have to understand that you have to spend it rightly, fully. Because we have to understand we are neither bright nor unbright. We are the true brightness. Okay? I'm saying this so that you should rest half an hour and come. All right? Ensure that you have your rest. Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namah. Harihi Om.